wherever they needed me, I was there. You know, you have to be in front of these people and they just have to keep seeing you. They're like, oh, you still here. Oh, you in Miami. Oh, you in California. You live in Virginia. How are you in California? Yo, okay, cool. Just like filling in the gaps wherever until you see that opportunity of where you honestly want to go. And when you get that, yo, let me get that real quick. Don't worry about it. Let me take care of it. And because you have a proven track record of completing every other little small task, they're not going to be like, no, go away. You don't know what you're talking about. They're like, yo, you have a proven track record. Go ahead, try it. Go.
So the question is this: how do thought leaders, school dropouts, former and current students find out what's next after they do or don't cross that stage? If you want to know the secrets to starting the career or business of your dreams, getting paid whatever you desire, and discovering what you do the best with the least amount of effort, then this is the right podcast for you. I'm Shawn Anthony, and this is School's Over. Now what? The podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Shawn Anthony. Right now, if you click that button, I can only imagine what you're probably wondering, right? You're probably wondering, what type of show is this? What can I expect? Each and every single week, we continue to bring you an inspiring person or a message that's truly going to help you unlock the question everybody has asked themselves at some point in their life. And as school's over, now what? Like, what do I do, right? But the cool thing about this show is we bring together some of the biggest celebrities, business owners, and entrepreneurs who have all answered their questions so you can apply their wisdom today. And I'm excited that you have chosen to listen to this show. And since this show has started, we have reached the top 100 in the business podcast category on iTunes. So it means so much to me that you guys value this show, that you know how I like to kick this thing off with the review of the week. And it comes from TBYA09, and she wrote, "This show drops so many gems. I've always been a type of person that jumps and grows her wings on the way down. This podcast helped remind me who the F I am. Keep sharing your knowledge and wisdom. Dope podcast, Tisha Michelle." Tisha, I appreciate you for being raw and being real. And if this podcast is inspiring any of you guys that are listening to this to that magnitude, please make sure you scroll to the bottom of iTunes right now, click that 5-star rating, and leave your review. It has helped us do tremendous things. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Are you thinking of starting a business? You're going to need a website. Or do you have a business but haven't updated your website in over 2 years? Then you need to hear this. Olive Branch Digital will help you create the website of your dreams. They are masters at turning your ideas to responsive websites that get picked up on Google and all the major search engines. Stop wasting time trying to learn the code and visit olivebranchdigital.com. Mention the podcast and get 10% off your website project. This episode is brought to you by www.patreon.com/schoolsover. For as low as $5, you can help us impact more people, tour schools, and reach communities. You also get exclusive Patreon-only content. That's bonus episodes, early access, and be able to go behind the scenes with me and some of our guests. Visit www.patreon.com/schoolsover and become a patron today. All right, let's get into the reason you click that button. I hope you guys are excited because we're back with another banger. And today's episode, we feature Nicky S. Guys, she is helping so many people build not only just their personal brands, but she helped take E.T. That's right. I want you to bring it back. She helped take E.T., the hip hop preacher, from 300,000 followers, right, to over 1.6 million. This is an episode. If you're a content creator, if you ever want to know about branding, if you ever wanted to really battle what to do and what not to do on social media, this is the episode for you. She's also CEO of Beast Mode Digital. I want you guys to sit back, grab a pencil, grab a paper. If you're even in a car or you're traveling or doing a workout right now, I need you to hit that save button. You're going to get so many gems from this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 103 with Nicky S. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'm excited for this next guest. We are sitting here with the one and only Nicky. Welcome to the show.
What's poppin', people? What's poppin'?
Hey, I'm excited for this for a couple of reasons. Somebody right now is probably Google searching. They're probably on their phone, ready to go to Instagram, clicking the show notes. Who is Nicky? Take us back to like Nicky growing up.
Nicky growing up is just a girl from Queens. True New Yorker who just had a thing for storytelling and just visuals, right? Ended up in the Navy for about like 9 years. Didn't know what I wanted to do. And then, I got with this guy. You may know him. Some people may know him. He happens to be, the number one motivational speaker of the world, Eric Thomas. Look him up if you don't, but I got with him, I joined his online community and filled in a gap, which was social media, and everything pretty much took off from there. Just from an idea of storytelling to just growing my man's stuff from like 300K to like now 1.6 million. So yeah, little short, you know what I mean?
Little short. Tell him, look him up. Check the Carfax.
A little short.
You know what's crazy about that is somebody right now is trying to connect the dots listening to this. They're saying, you know what, Shawn, you got this amazing digital creator on the show right now. She gets into a room or gets the opportunity to, rub shoulders with somebody who's elite and at the top of their level. Mm-hmm. What advice, and I just want to pop it off early, like what advice you give somebody that walks into a room and are trying to figure out how to network and stand out? What advice would Nicky give on that?
I think the first thing I would say is don't try so hard and just serve. I didn't go in intentionally trying to be like, all right, I'm going to go into this situation and I'm going to get something out of it. I genuinely just wanted to give back in however way I can. Like what people think is that it happens like I'm going to give my gift away for like 2-3 times, we could reevaluate and get the bag. I volunteered for over 2 years, and never asked for a dime. I just took that as, they let me in, they opened the door for me. I'm going to absorb everything I can. Like I come from an IT background. So everything that I was doing was just brand new. Even being from a girl from New York, you're not around like millionaires like that. You see that on TV and stuff like that. You're not around people. And then when you are, you think they're a certain kind of swag, certain kind of, confidence or whatever. I'm around a whole bunch of millionaires that are humble, that are like regular people. And so for like 2 years, I was absorbing it. So the first thing I would say is like literally go in for serving, because if you're going in for like, let me give in for a certain amount of time and then, let me reevaluate and get the bag, that's short-term money. And I get it. We all have to pay bills, but you're trying to build relationships. You're trying to build like a long bag. You're not trying to just get these little short bags. You're going to work forever by doing that. So serve is for real. Serve and fill those gaps. Like I did a lot of like dumb stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did a lot of dumb stuff. Like, so I'm not a detailed person, right? I'm not a detailed person, but there are things like fill in this spreadsheet, put this, carry this over here and bring it over there, drive this person and pick them up from the airport and bring them over here. Like it was a lot of just wherever they needed me, I was there. You have to be in front of these people and they just have to keep seeing you. They're like, Oh, you still here? Oh, you in Miami? Oh, you in California? You live in Virginia? How are you in California? Yo, okay, cool. Just like filling in the gaps wherever until you see that opportunity of where you honestly want to go. And when you get that, yo, let me get that real quick. Don't worry about it. Let me take care of it. And because you have a proven track record of completing every other little small task, they're not going to be like, no, go away. You don't know what you're talking about. They're like, yo, you have a proven track record. Go ahead, try it. Go.
Yo, that's real. I think there's so much to digest in that statement that you just made. You know, so many people are chasing a quick bag. I have people have it all the time. Reach out to me. Hey, let me do this. And they'll do a couple things. And they're like, hey, on the fourth one, how about we come up with some type of agreement? Yeah, you're dead. It's not happening.
Right.
It's a quick turn off because the long game and people that are willing to go the long game, because what you're doing right now for ET, that took work and grind and time. You put in a long game of effort before they even happen to be a real true opportunity. And there's so many people that don't want to go the long route. They don't want to put in the hard work. How important is it, you know, as an entrepreneur, somebody that's standing out, when they get that opportunity that they've been putting in all that work for, how important is it for them to be very successful and succeed in that moment?
When you're given an opportunity, you have to shine, you know, you have to. But the people who see an opportunity and flop are those people that haven't put it in the work and that proven track record that I was talking about, right? Like, people who do work that long game and learn as they grow, right? After a while, there's nothing that can touch them, right? The opportunity seems easy, right? We all know that whole AI situation, practice, right? But it's what you do behind the scenes that gets you prepared for when you're on that stage. That's why, like, even when I talk about, like, with social media, like that whole, I want you to post consistently, I want you to do this, because that's your practice, right? Everybody who's like, yo, I want to, you know, be an artist. I want to work for these people. I want to be at this table. I want to be over here. Well, what are you doing on your own stuff? What are you doing in your own platform to show that you deserve to be there and that you would kill it? Right? So it's like the long game gets you prepared. The long game gets you worked up. So when that opportunity is there, it's not even, are you going to be successful? It's going to be, how successful are you going to be?
Yeah. I mean, because at that point in time, you've done everything right. You've done everything to get to that moment, right? And
you've done everything wrong. That's the crazy thing. It's like, it's not even about doing everything right. You've done everything wrong so you can learn. And when that opportunity there, you know what to avoid, what to do and everything like that. It's easy. It comes second nature. And when you're given that opportunity beforehand, you're trying to figure it out and you're looking like a dodo because you're not this guru. You're not this point person as you said you were going to be. Because here you are. You are getting it. You wanted to be here. Boom. There you go. Now what? Now you're like, oh, snap. It's like all those people who cheated on the test and then they're not around nobody and they're like, here, you got all A's. Boom. Here's this last test. And you're like, oh man. It's the same concept, just different situation.
By far, and it's either you're going to do it right, you're going to do it now. But what I like about doing it wrong is that so many people say, hey, I want to do this. They raise their hand. I want to do that. I want to do this. And a lot of times what I'm finding out is people say yes to things they aren't prepared for. And what happens when they aren't prepared, a project that they said they were going to be capable of doing, they're complaining it's taking them so long. If you're listening to this right now, you're thinking about, who should I hire for this project? Who should I bring along with me? You should bring along the person who can do whatever task it is easy. Because if they can do it easy, they've done the groundwork for it. And if you're someone listening to this right now and you've been accepting projects and you haven't been ready for them, you need to sit back in the lab
Mm-hmm. Facts. I mean, I don't know. You said it the best right there. There's no, people want and this is things, everything's glorified right now. Everything's more documented than before. So what was success before, right? There's not so many people who wanted it per se because it wasn't in their face. Now that it's so much in their face due to content and everything like that, now they're like, I need to be there. I need to be there. No, you need to sit down. You need to figure out what you're trying to do and not just do what everybody else is doing. Right? So you get your feelings hurt because you're chasing the wrong success and you're not chasing your success. So then you can't practice the right thing. You're supposed to be great over here. You're supposed to be amazing over here, but you have squirrel moments and you're like, oh, that's flashy. That's great. Let me go over there. And you're practicing and doing those tasks. And you're wondering why you hurt and why you fall and not be successful over here is because you were meant over there, but you had a squirrel moment. So that's just like, but that's a whole different topic at best. But I see what you're saying.
It's real. I think some people out there are doing too much. I mean, you see people's bios on Instagram and it'd be like musician, drummer, cooker, do yoga. I'm like, yo, which one you gonna do?
Yoga.
I'm like, which one you gonna do? It's confusing, right?
But I just did a post about that where it's like, that doesn't even mean anything. Like, anybody could put a title, but of what? That's why I say, like, of what? So you're an author, praise God, of what? You're an entrepreneur, doing what? You're a CEO of what? So because let us fact check you. Let us fact check you. If you want to put out titles, then put out titles with facts. Don't put out titles just because it looks good and then you got a cool little emoji next to it and some money bags and say CEO. That's cool. But are you a CEO of a successful company or are you just a CEO of an idea that you just came up with? And so now you're trying to speak things into existence, understand, but you're giving people a false hope of who you are.
Yo, I think you just hit them with so many bars right there. I think you gave people hurt feelings and also realizing, I might have to go change this. I might have to go edit this up. But it's real. It's the things people need to hear, right?
Let me take that yoga off. It was a habit. It was a habit. I don't even know the yoga studio. I'm sorry.
I don't even know the right poses to make. I was just trying something. So like a lot of people listen to this podcast, Nikki, and they're in school. They're either, somebody that graduated already or somebody say, yo, forget this place, right?
Right.
When you were going, through school and through your years, what were some of the things that were capturing your attention, like that maybe even possibly position you to doing what you're doing now?
I'm gonna be honest, nothing. I didn't like school. Like, I did not like school at all. I think the only subject that I did fire in, which had to deal with Egypt and hieroglyphics and the Greek gods and stuff like that, has nothing to do with what I do right now. I promise you, has nothing to do with but I killed that topic right over there. I felt like I was missing something, right? But I did it, because I'm a big believer of I finish what I start, right? So I high school, I took a mean break. Like I said, went to the Navy. And then I went to college and I got my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. Once again, nothing what I do now, right? But it was the process that had built who I am. Because I learned that I'm going to do things that I'm not going to like all the time, but it's needed so you can finish your project, so you could finish going to the next level. There was different levels because of school that I learned. So I went in a kind of a deeper meaning with school for me because I had to find it, because I was like, I'm definitely not going to use none of this. Like, this is so not important to me. I can't fathom using this in real life, right? Because what I saw in real life and what was happening in school was two different things. I understand history, great, but what does that help me for? Like, because I'm one of those people, like, I have to care about you to really understand you. Like, so the research that I do now on the greats has nothing to do with any of the typical history and stuff like that I learned in school. But I learned that, you know what? You're going to have to go through some things. You're going to have to watch some things, do some projects that you're not going to want to do, because there's going to be a time where that's what it's going to take to get to the next level, to the point where you don't have to worry about that anymore. And so now I'm at that point where I don't have to worry about that so much compared to before. And then I look at it like, okay, 1 to elementary made me learn things I didn't really care about. High school, it was like, okay, you see a little bit of real life, cool. College was like more techie stuff for me. So I saw some things that I could use in real life, some things that I couldn't. And then real life, I see the same kind of patterns. Like, you step in, you're going to do a lot of things you don't want. You get to another level, it lessens and lessens and lessens. So that's what I'll pretty much say for school. For me, is I learned that process.
Hey guys, so let me take a guess. You're enjoying the show. And if that's right, please make sure that you take a screenshot of you listening to the podcast right now and tag me at Shawn R. Anthony _. I promise you this is going to help in amazing ways. And while you're at it, hit the 5-star rating and subscribe. With that being said, guys, let's get back to the show. That's good that you grasped that. You mentioned something. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate, right? A lot of people feel like, school did nothing for me, but I want to tap into your mindset, because somebody's listening right now and they're like, you know what? I want to know how she thinks. She's creating all these crazy things. You said you study the greats, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the greats you've been studying?
So for me, I think outside the box, right? So I think I watch Kobe. I do Nipsey, clearly. I think of Michael Jordan. I go for Diddy, Coach K and P from Quality Control. I go for Steve Jobs, Phil Knight. Like, I'm looking at people who have built something, right? Built not only culture per se, right? Because all those names have built a certain kind of culture, right? But they are, when you look at it, they put themselves as a personal brand. Maybe not back then it was seen as that, but they had to portray themselves as that brand to then create an empire later on, So I'm looking at that like, okay, I could learn about creating content. I could learn about social medias from the people who are doing it, but let me learn from the people who really wasn't really about that at first, except for Jordan and Kobe. They were all about basketball, right? Yeah. But you can see that they took, and it's the same thing how you brand people. They took from the greats and created themselves. Like, Kobe was big on, all right, I'm going to take from Jordan. I'm going to take from Magic. I'm going to take from this. I'm going to practice it. I'm going to practice it. I'm practice it. And then you're going to see what this Mamba mentality really looks like, because it's truly me studying all the time from the greats. They've done it before. So taking different industries and putting it all in a pot to then create the mind that I have is what I'm really big on.
And, I like about those people you mentioned, a lot of those guys got amazing books. Kobe has the Mamba Mentality book, which is amazing. Phil Knight has the Shoe Dog book. I mean, there's so many different things, guys. So much free game you're giving right now. And I think it's important to take what you want to from a certain person, but also put it together and create your own originality. Because even with Kobe, right? Like, even with Kobe, everyone knew he mastered, the fadeaway shot, right? He mastered all of these things, but his thought process, and when he really looked at him, when he did certain things, it was only Kobe-like.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always like, oh, that's the exact mirror image. But he did a lot of studying of those guys that you mentioned. So I think it's important, if you're listening to this right now, if you're liking what Nicky's doing, you're liking what I'm doing, you're liking what ET's doing, or whoever it is for you, there are things that you can definitely get some free game from that you can add to, your resume and what you want to put out to the world.
Yeah,
So
we're influenced by many people. There's a difference between influencing and copying, right?
facts.
Like and I think a lot of people have that very confused, where they see something that's working and they do exactly like that, instead of just learning and trying to pick this part and then going to somewhere else and picking that part. You're going to get influenced. I get influenced by E. Am I a speaker? Do I copy exactly what he says? No, I don't. But there's certain phrases that I put into my own stuff. Like I have, I talk personal branding. He talks about personal development. He talks about from a consumer to a producer. And I talk about from consumer to producer on a content standpoint. I'm very influenced. I'm not completely grabbing my man's stuff. I'm not completely grabbing Kobe's mentality, but I could break that down all into branding stuff. I'm not completely what Nip does, but I've taken a lot of the stuff, especially the resources he used, like Contagious, the book Contagious, and I've studied that to take certain parts to apply it to E's brand, to my own brand. So there's a difference between straight up seeing what works and doing it exactly like that. Like, shout out to everybody who creates content and does the white background with a big title and the progress bar and the caption, because you look straight up like Gary V. Congratulations. Yes, it is a proven model. Absolutely. But it will never be your model. It will always be a Gary V model. So you're not creating anything great. You're a copycat, and that's cool. But what are you adding to it that makes it your own is the important part.
Big facts. You know what's crazy about that? I am so tired of seeing so many different influencers take the Gary V signature.
Look, and shout out to Gary V for real, because he pays the way a lot into this content game. I'm not knocking him, but why can't other people see what he's doing and try to one up him? And not even on a competition, but just like you want to have your own name to it. Gary V does what he does because he put his own name to it. Like, okay, I'm saying everything important is documenting and putting out content. Well, let me document and put out content. People think it's hard. Well, let me make it as simple as I can in this. Boom. People are like, okay, it works. He has millions of views. Let me get that too. You're not going to get millions of views because he is the founder of that style. So everything that comes before him or after him is not going to get it. It's like that pyramid scheme thing. You'll never make as much money as the person who's on the top. It's the same vibe. So why don't you just if you want to use the little progress bar, cute. Okay. Put something else on it. At least change the color. Do me that. Just do me that favor. Just change the color. Let's start there. And then next week we could work on something else. I'm cool with that.
Facts. I mean, change the color up, get you a different background besides that white. all
and
those
I get
things.
it. I get the whole white thing, because at the time it was blending in with the Instagram background. Fully understand the theory of that. Absolutely. But do something different.
Yeah, now you can change the theme of your Instagram background. I got the dark theme.
Oh, a lot of people have the dark theme. We out here with the dark mode. I'm for that mode. So, and understanding that, like, okay, people are doing dark mode. Let me get a black background. Let me get a dark background, because they'll blend easy with it. You have to pay attention to those certain kind of things instead of like, okay, this has been working for so long, I'm going to do this. Well, that worked like 5 months ago. You just doing it's crazy. I read that Mark Echo book, Unlabeled, right?
Uh-huh.
Fire book for anybody who wants to read it. My man, there was one thing he said was like loyalty to nostalgia. And I dropped everything. I was like, yo, so many people are so like die hard to what was working and die hard to like trying to force it to work again and again and again, that some people just need to let it go. Some people truly just need to let it go, because the second you do, it opens you up for something greater. But you're so stuck on these certain ways of working, certain content, certain captions, certain platforms, certain people. Yo, there's some people that are still on a platform. I'm not going to name the platform. I don't really care. I'm not trying. But some people are still on platforms. And because it worked for them there and they didn't go with what's working now, they're stuck. They're super stuck. And they're like, no, but my audience is here. No, your audience left. Your audience left. They left, you stayed. Your views aren't the same. Your engagement aren't the same. It worked before. So great. In the before, you were known as this. So do you want to just live in the past? Like, great that you had accolades in the past. Yo, I had over 1 million views on this one video. I had, hundreds of thousands of people on my live and this and that before. Okay, do it now. All we care about is now. We don't care about what you did before. There's people who are doing it now and way better. What are you doing now? But that loyalty to nostalgia, like Mark Echo say, is crucial when it comes to this whole branding and content game, for real.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta switch it up. I mean, you said something earlier, and I want to tap into this because I see it, and I know you see it. Is the color scheme? People are always, hey, what color should I put for my website? What color should I put for my background? Could you break down for our listeners just the thought process a little bit behind how you go about branding in certain colors and the moods they might, depict to your audience?
I'm not going to go too deep, but each color has a meaning. Okay. Each color has a meaning. I want you to truly like figure out what your brand means to you. Like, what are those key words that can express your brand, right? And then I want you to look up the meanings of the color, right? There's always a meaning, like blue has more of an intelligent kind of vibe, right? Red means urgent and like go kind of vibe, Some of y'all are having red in yours and you're like a flower company. So I don't know where I got to go and be urgent and be energized for flowers. So like the first thing is truly just understand the meaning first of your brand, of your the name of the brand, and then look it up. It's not that hard. Like, we all love different colors. Trust me. We all love different colors. Sometimes we love the color and it happens to go with what it means, right? That sometimes it goes like that, right? But sometimes it doesn't, right? So I really just suggest you could Google it. I promise you it's not that hard to find.
Not hard at all.
Put 5 minutes into it. I promise you, just put 5 minutes and make sure your brand colors match with the message that you're trying to give to the audience. Because if not, it's going to be mixing. I mean, Apple has a great logo and it goes with what they're trying to build. IBM, Nike, all this stuff. Like, if you look up those top brands that you like, Starbucks, they have the meaning to the color, and you could be like, I get it now. I get it.
And you'll be able to understand, okay, that's why this is so successful. Right?
Indeed.
That's why the Happy Meal makes the kids get so excited to see those colors. And
it's a deeper meaning, but nothing too deep that you can't find. Like 5 minutes, I promise you, 5 minutes.
You heard it from Nikki, man. All you need is 5 minutes. You'll find out everything you possibly need. Utilize that good old function of Google. It saved a lot of people. Right now, like people are at home, right? We're still dealing with this whole COVID-19 thing. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And people are having to adjust. Have you had to make any adjustments in how you operate?
No. No.
Straight like that.
I actually work more. So there's a little bit of adjustment of sleep, right? But for me, because I've already lived in such a digital world. Like I had some like live events clearly with E and everything like that. But because of how my mind is, and I'm such a techie, I was already in this whole tech kind of world. Like we got to build online platform, all that stuff, right? So the live events, the conference, all that stuff, right? So now that it's here, right? And now that even though people are opening up like May 15th, May 12th, all this stuff, they're saying it, life as we know it still won't be the same, right? So don't like, for those people who are waiting, like, oh, COVID's almost done. Yeah, you think that's cute. It's not going, we're not going to know life as it was anymore. It's going to take a minute. I would say probably next year, middle of next year, 2022, right? Where we could really feel normal, but at the same time, we've built such a digital life that is the new norm. So now I'm setting shop of, okay, what's the next mastermind? How are we going to do these virtual events? Look different than everybody else. How can we have more direct communication with followers and not rely everything on social media, because everybody's on social media. And so now I have to fight with everybody's content when people can just contact, whether it's me or E, or Jamal or whatever, directly. So these are the different things that I'm looking at that I'm like, okay, we got to put systems in place. We got to up the content. Our content has been consistent every single day. ESPN highlighted E and was like, look, athletes go to his Instagram every single day for motivation. COVID didn't stop that. COVID didn't stop that. COVID actually brought more attention to it because we were already doing that. So now that people are stopping some of their content because they ran out of, the curated content, we're like, nah, homie, we've been doing this. We've been doing this. Now it's just a matter of taking a shift of, let's highlight some of the people who are quarantined. Like we put a video out today of just people doing the TikToks, doing the workouts based off the voice and everything. Let's highlight people who are in the quarantine that are listening to our stuff, right? So it's seeing what's happening in the world, seeing how people adjust and making those adjustments within our brand. And it's just like work after work after work. So my life is definitely busy. I actually want COVID to finish. I want it to be done because I want a normal life, like regular kind of things. Like I envy the people who are Netflix and chill and don't know what to do with their life and everything right now. Like I semi envy you, but then I'm confused by like, yo, this is the time that you've been asking. This is like, yo, I don't have people looking at my stuff. I don't have the time. I don't have anything. Like I have an idea about my brand and I can't figure it. You ain't got nothing but time right now. I'll wait.
Nothing but time. It's crazy. I mean, I think the way you break it down is that you guys were already prepared for this digital age.
Mm-hmm.
You've already took every step possible. Now you're at home. You're like, man, I got to put out more. They feeding. I gotta give them what they need. And it's more of a sense of urgency behind it. Whereas guys, you're listening to this right now, you're hearing it from Nikki. You might want to pause that Netflix. You might want to pause what you're doing and utilize this time wisely so that when we come out of this situation, there is no excuses for it.
I dare you to cancel your Netflix. And some people won't do it. I dare you to cancel your Netflix and just build off of this time and then turn it back on. I'm not saying get rid of it completely. I'm saying, make some time. COVID is here at least for one more month, right? Let's just say one more month. We kept seeing 2 weeks. It's only here for 2 weeks. We've been saying that for a little bit. Let's just say, let's give it a whole month. I don't care when you hear this, give it a whole month. cancel Netflix, cancel Hulu, cancel Disney. Well, Disney Plus for the kids. Go ahead. You know what I mean? You gotta keep the kids busy. I'm not saying cancel that, right? But cancel that and dedicate the time every single day to get that idea out of your mind, right? Into the world, into like, I legitly just put a post like it. A lot of people are overthinking. They feel like if they need the actual cameras, they feel like they need Shawn's mic. They feel like they need the lights and everything like that. And it's really all you need is your phone. Like the best influencers started with their phone.
That's
like,
all.
The best influencers started with free software, you know.
That's all.
And that's all you have to do during this time. I'm not asking you to have a level 10 brand. I'm asking you to have a story and to have a skill or a skill. You have one of the two. I'm asking you to have a strategy, which means pick a platform, right? Pick which content you can do comfortably, right? Because not everybody can get on video. And I'm never asking everybody to get on video. We have introverts and extroverts. Understand who you are. Right? If you are extrovert, get on video. If you are introvert, do some blogs, do some emails, do some photos, you know, pick the content you can do comfortably and pick out a schedule you can do that is comfortable to you. You have to start comfortable and then pick a time that you could be engaging with people on the platform. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Please don't think you could get on these platforms and like, oh, I just dropped the video. I'm out. Like, you know, you're not that sweet. You're not that nice. Sweet. Okay. Your content may be fire, but the relationships is key. And when you create relationships, then you create followers. But if you're not doing, if you're not liking, if you're not watching, if you're not sharing, if you're not following others, stop expecting that back.
Yo, I want y'all to know right now, Nikki's giving y'all all the game. This is like a masterclass because that's really what it comes down to. Are you going to engage? Are you going to talk to people? You know what I like about right now? Everything raw is winning. Everything raw is winning. So if you cut the TV on right now, you'll see Kelly and Ryan, right? Kelly and Ryan will be doing their show from Skype. They're at the crib like me and Nikki at right now.
Absolutely.
You're seeing today's show. They're on Skype. You're seeing all these networks. They're on Skype and they're putting it on TV. You're seeing these people who are held on these high platforms now at home without production cameras, without makeup, without stylists, and they're just showing up and people are tuning in. So what does that tell you about yourself? What does that tell you about right now in this moment? There's no excuse because as you show up, what I'm finding out too is a lot of people who are showing up raw, they way more entertaining than a lot of those guys I've mentioned.
Because it's super organic. Do you get it? Like it's super, like what people love and people are, like I said, overthinking. We love transparency. You're human. You're not a robot. You're not like this, all of a sudden you were molded into this amazing influencer. You're human. So what's winning? Like he said, the Zoom calls, the Skype calls, you know, FaceTime, house party, like all these different things. These kind of TikTok is killing it because it's super organic. You can do everything from your phone, right? And people love to see. Why? Because it's realistic. We're all at home, right? So you think everybody has a studio? No. So now we're more into every podcast. And like I said, I'm a big hip hop fan. And so the two podcasts that I watch is Joe Budden's and Drink Champs. Both of them, especially Drink Champs, had high production on their podcast.
Super high.
Right? And they had a good amount like stacked up.
Yeah.
I realized, what was it, a week or two ago? Like, oh, best of. I was like, oh, they ran out. So let's see if they're going to shift. Right?
Yeah.
And they did. They shift. Right? Now, the vibe isn't the same, but people are accepting it because this is just the day and the age that we're in. We're quarantined. We are behind our computers, and this is what it is. So,
yeah. And you're seeing it, like you're seeing it with Rory and all those guys with Joe Button. I mean, you're seeing it. You know what else has been interesting too? All these Instagram lives, these battles.
Oh,
these
oh.
battles. I mean, you gotta think about it. Let's think about Teddy Riley and Babyface. How the 1st round went, right? It was overly prepared. It had a little too much going on. A lot of us right now got too much going on, and the realness is really in showing up. And I think that's very interesting as well. I want to ask you the question we've asked every single person that's ever hopped on this show, ever hopped on this podcast.
Yeah.
That is, if you were that former college student, right? Or somebody who just say, you know what, forget this. I'm not liking it. I'm not feeling it. I'm dropping out. And you're asking yourself the question of the podcast, school's over. Now what? What advice would Nikki give?
Figure who you are, right? Self-awareness is huge. Figure out who you are before running to the bag, before figuring out a brand, before jumping into a job that pays very well. Figure out who you are, because if you don't, you're going to always struggle with the moves that you make. You're always going to struggle with consistency because you don't know who you are. Self-awareness is huge in the beginning, and I wish I would have done it a long time ago, because there's so many different things that I did in between that I look back and I'm like, if I knew who I was, if I knew then, like, and you'll hear it a lot, if I knew what I knew now, then it'd be a whole different story. But it's not even about the knowledge. It's really about just knowing who I was and accepting that and understanding my talents and non-talents, right? First, you get out, whether you are about to get out of school, whether you're already out of school, and whatever your situation is, figure out who you are right now. Like, there's different assessments, there's different programs, there's different things. Take the time to figure out who you are, because then the direction is easier. Then figuring out what your brand is, what your future empire is, what your destination is, your goals, everything. It makes so much more sense because you have a clear view who you are and where you deserve to be.
Yo, that was hard. I think that's the truth, right? Because a lot of people right now, if you listen to the advice he just gave, a lot of people right now wouldn't accept things that they've accepted in the past. They wouldn't go to that job tomorrow. They wouldn't go back to that home, or they wouldn't go back to that environment. They wouldn't go back to, listening to somebody they're listening to if they just truly know who they are. And I think that's so key. Whenever you think about even building a brand, always start with know yourself. I tell people that all the time, and I agree with you so much. Nikki, you came on the show. You completely blessed us today. Where can people find out more information about you? Give us, your social platforms and where we can find you.
I always tell people, just follow me. This is Nikki with an S. This is Nikki's on Instagram. I'm mainly on there. Like, I got everything else, but I'm mainly super active on Instagram at This Is Nikki's. I go live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Just giving that work, having fun, being transparent, giving tips. That's all I ever ask. Just come follow me. I'm not taking you to no website or anything like that. Just come follow me. Get to know me first before you do anything.
Facts. And what I like about, Nikki, also to her lives is popping, but she also has like this strong community called the text gang. So if somebody want to be part of
they starting to call themselves the text cartel. I'm like, yo, y'all being really legal right now. Like, y'all being real. Like, I was like, I need you to pick between cartel and community. They're like gang or cartel. I'm like, so no community? Somebody was like club. They're like cartel or gang. I was like, all right, you illegal fools. You got it. You got it.
If somebody wants to be a part of that, can you give us the information? If somebody wants to be a part of that text.
Yo, 718-400-1161. That's the text gang, community, whatever you want to call it, the super illegal people. I'm giving tips every single day. And if you forget the number, just go to my Instagram. There's a text button. I promise you it's right there. But I'm giving tips every single day. Things like yesterday, I gave them this website on how to perfectly pair your fonts. Like the people kind of just overlook the simple things of creating a brand. They go straight to the content. Wait, hold on. Get your style right. Get the name right. Get your fonts right. So I gave them a tool that'll give them perfect pairing with fonts. And so I'm giving things like that every single day.
Huge free game. We appreciate you so much for being on the show. And for those of you that have been listening, always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it. Yo, what you think? I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I want to know what you learned. So if you wouldn't mind, would you take a screenshot of you listening to the podcast on your phone right now? Upload to your Instagram stories, tag me at Shawn R. Anthony _, and then let me know in that Instagram story what is one thing that you learned. I love hearing from you, my listeners, thought leaders, former or current students all around the world. Let me know. And while you're doing this, go inside the podcast app, subscribe, leave a 5-star review and a 5-star rating. Again, this helps us reach more people. And if you want to be a part of this mission, helping us change the world one person at a time, it makes a massive difference by you leaving a review. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week. And remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it.